buddies? It's your girl, AyChristene, and today we're checking out a Wolfychu video. This is my first time traveling alone. I just recently went through something like that when I went to YouTube Black. It was my first flight that I had, like, on my own. I didn't know anybody I was with. Like, I wasn't with a group of people, friends or family or anything like that. I've only flown 3 other times in my life, and it was with, like, once was with a church group. I'll say I'll take it down to 2 round trips. I'm not gonna count, you know. But once was with a church group. The other time was with my husband and my brother when we went to E3 back in 2016 or 2016. We didn't go last year. Or no, we went last year. We didn't go this year. So 2017. However, this year when I went to YouTube Black, I was by myself, and when I flew, my brother met me there, but he didn't fly out the same airport, so I flew there and back by myself, and I was very nervous. I was super nervous and scared. I did a lot of praying. God heard a lot from me that day. But yeah, I want to see what her experience was like traveling alone. Also, let me know your experience. What was it for you traveling alone? Down below in the comment section. All right, link for this video is down below. Let's get started.
Hi everyone, this
Hello.
is Wolfychu, and I've traveled to a lot of different places. I used to really like traveling to different countries, but nowadays I don't really leave the house. But even though I do like seeing new places, I really just don't like the trips. Even just being in airports makes me feel kind of anxious, especially if I'm about to get on a long-haul flight. Which reminds me of a story I have from the very first time I traveled alone. It was actually the time I traveled over to Australia to live with my boyfriend. And of course, the trip to Australia is a very long trip.
22
so you would usually
hours?
fall asleep on the plane. So I was trying to sleep in my seat, which was super uncomfortable because I couldn't stretch out or anything.
Oh, really?
But eventually I did manage to doze off, and I seem to always move around a lot when I'm asleep. Like, many days I'll wake up and find that somehow I tore the sheets completely off the bed in my sleep. I have no idea how.
You're like a roller.
I was slowly waking up on the plane. I was in that stage where you're half asleep and you don't even know that you're awake yet. And I wasn't comfortable, so I stretched my legs out and my foot hit something soft.
Oh, dear.
Whatever this thing was, it was in my way, so I kicked it.
Oh, my goodness.
I kept trying to push this thing out
was
of
it
my
another
way
person?
until I realized where I was, and I looked over and saw that I was kicking the man sitting next to me.
Oh, my gosh.
I was horrified.
Oh, my goodness.
I looked at the man's face, but he was actually asleep.
Oh, that's good.
Or at least I think he was.
Unless he was pretending
Maybe he
to be
didn't want to
asleep.
say anything, so he just pretended to be asleep.
That would be nice.
Since the flight is such a long one, I had a layover, which means that your flight stops somewhere, usually around the halfway point, which in my case was Singapore. Even though I would love to visit Singapore properly someday, this layover was actually not that great because it meant that I had to sit in an airport by myself for 9 hours.
Oh my goodness.
At least I had internet, so I pretty much just spent the entire time on
For
Skype.
9 hours, though? In a layover, though, you can leave the airport. You can, because you only have to make sure you're back to check in for your flight. And you want to do that, I think, like an hour or... No, 2 hours. You want to be checking in 2 hours because you don't know how long it's going to be. So if you have a 9-hour layover, then you can explore. My uncle, he went to the Philippines in March. And when they were coming back, their layover was in Japan. So he got to explore with his family, like with his kids and his wife. They went to explore, like, Tokyo and, like, explore the area. And he said it was so great. It was so great. I would love to go to Japan. Oh, my goodness. I would love to go to Japan so bad. So bad. But, yeah, with a layover, you can explore is what I was trying to say.
At one point, though, I did need to eat something, so I went looking for a restaurant.
I would do it outside of the
I chose this one nice-looking
airport.
noodle bar, and I ordered fried rice and sat down. This will probably sound weird, but
this was
the first time in my life where I'd ever used chopsticks. The waitress brought my food and I started eating. I thought that I was doing okay with the chopsticks, and probably nobody could even tell that I'd never done this before. But I guess not, because the little Japanese man sitting opposite me suddenly offered me a spoon, and he said, "Just use this."
That's like the utmost, like offensive thing. Like not in a horrible way though, but that's like his nicest way of saying, "Chick, just you don't know what you're doing. Go, just use a spoon. Use a spoon, please." He just said, "Use this." That's hilarious. That would make me laugh if I'm using the chopsticks. I think I'm killing it. I'm like eating it. I'm like, oh, I'm a pro at this. This is my first time using it. Oh my goodness, I'm great. And then a guy's like, I use these a lot. Clearly, you're not using it right. Here's a spoon. I would just start laughing. I would be like, oh, okay. You want to teach me how to use these then? But that would be funny.
I could feel my face burning. I felt like I probably just looked really silly to everyone else in the restaurant. So I quickly thanked the man and finished eating my fried rice with the spoon. And then it was almost time for my next flight, so I figured out what gate number I was, and I headed over to where I needed to go. Soon after that, they started boarding the flight. I was about third in line from the desk when I suddenly felt like something wasn't right.
What?
I looked up at the board above the lady at the desk's head and saw that it said Vietnam.
Yeah.
I thought, surely not. Surely I couldn't have gotten this wrong.
Oh my goodness.
But I looked over at the flight board and saw that I had made a big mistake.
Really?
I immediately ran out of the line and started running as fast as I
could.
My flight was supposed to start boarding in 10 minutes, and I was on the completely wrong side of the airport.
Oh my gosh.
I was crying and running, and I tripped over my little suitcase right in front of this lady and her 2 children. I remember she put her arms up in front of her kids completely in protect mode, so I probably looked crazy. I kept going and almost ran into one of the airport workers, and he got me to stop and was asking me what was wrong, but I was too out of breath to speak, so I kind of just went, I'm in the wrong gate, my flight's gonna leave. The man got me to calm down. He told me that it was fine. I would be able to make it on time, and he pointed me in the right direction. I made it to my flight on time, and I arrived safely in Australia, so everything worked out fine. Although it could have definitely been a lot easier for me if I hadn't been so clumsy.
Wow, I feel really bad for her. I do feel really bad for her in that situation. That would be, I wouldn't say completely traumatic, but definitely very interesting as the first time I'm flying or I'm going out, and then to have it be that, I got a 9-hour freaking layover in another country. That's like, that is not on the list of things that I want in traveling. Unless it's somewhere that I'd like to go and explore. If this was like, I don't know, some random island in some country that I'd never even heard of, now I ain't leaving the airport. I'm not leaving the airport. But if it was Japan, I'd travel. I would explore, of course, and try to make sure I was back in time to get on my plane. But the funny part of, you know, the Japanese man with the spoon was hilarious. The almost missing the flight thing is crazy, but then to run to go try to find your flight and then trip and fall, tripping over your these are fears that I have, okay? Not the noodle rice chopsticks thing, that's whatever. But, you know, going to the wrong gate and then finding out that I'm at the wrong gate and being on the other side of the airport and having to run there, it's crazy. Like going to DC, my flight, I guess, was delayed, but at the time, I didn't know, and I went to the gate, or I went and checked in, got my ticket, was gonna go through, or I was gonna go to the gate so that way I can go to security checkout, because at the airport I was in Tampa, it's a little different. Like they tell you where you go for the gates, and then when you take a trolley out to that place, and then you do the check-in where they have you take off your shoes and all that stuff, and then you get on the plane. Or then you go to the boarding, and then, you know, your flight, whatever. Anyways, I was standing in line. I went on the trolley, and then as I'm going on the trolley, I'm hearing them mention the planes or the airlines, and I don't hear American Airlines. So I'm like, okay, the trolley goes. I'm on it. And then it comes back. I'm still on it. And I'm like, well, maybe it'll go in a different direction. It goes, still on it. It comes back. I'm still on it because I'm like, I still don't hear my flight. So I'm like, okay, let me see what happens. So I think I wrote it one more time, like forward and back. And then I got off. I was like, I don't know what's going to happen. I'm way early. I'm very early. So I'm not going to miss my flight. But what's happening? So that's when I went and talked to the lady. And they said I had to go back to the front desk, walked all the way back to the front desk. They said the flight was delayed. And I had options for another flight that was going to be a little later. So thank God that happened versus being on one side to get on a flight and then realizing that's going to another country versus you're trying to go to one country, right? And this one's going to take you to a whole different country. Nah, bruh. That would be freaking... I would laugh, but I would be stressed out at the same time. But let me know if anything crazy like that has happened to you down below in the comment section. That is hilarious. Let's talk about our embarrassing traveling stories. If you like that video, check out the link in the description box below to support Wolfychu. If you like this video, hug life on that like button. I love you guys as always, and until next time, buddies. Toodles.